Hello and welcome to the OverShadow Shadowcast with your host Thomas Anderson and tech wizard Abigail.
Why is my name so high? Does that make sense? Why did you say it so high?
I have no real knowledge of why this has occurred, but it has. We shall now continue.
Yes, hello everybody.
Hello, what have you been playing?
I have not really been playing anything, but I've been still using that Zombies Run game when I go for a run. I used it this morning when I went for a run as well, and I
Yeah,
finally
I remember now.
sussed out because what happens is you get a story or you get a mission story, and it's like a chapter of a story, but it's not continuous. There's like breaks in between it, and then I realized I could listen to the radio as well as playing the games. That's made it a lot more interesting, shall we say, because the app will interrupt the radio that you're like. I listen to like BBC One or BBC Two.
Right,
So
so it'll make it seem like there's an actual emergency or like there's a is it like
no, no,
emergency broad?
no, it's not an emergency broadcast. You're just listening to the story, but it, like I said, it's not a continuous story. So there's like moments where the story pauses for maybe about 5 minutes or so, and that way you can actually listen to the radio while you're waiting for the next part of the story to happen.
Right, so there's actually a story in there with like characters talking to each other
Yeah.
and stuff.
Well, no,
Right,
they're
okay.
talking to you. You're runner 5. You become runner 5. So they're talking
Right,
to you, but your character never speaks, at least not so far.
right.
But there's a point where
r-
if you finish a mission, if you finish a mission while you're still on a run, it activates radio mode. So there's two characters in the story, and you're listening to effectively their radio show, but the music from the actual thing you're listening to plays during the radio show. So like if you listen to the radio, like the presenter will stop playing the music and talk for a bit, and then play more music again. It's integrating the app plus listening to the radio, if that makes any sense. Doesn't make
Yes.
sense, does it?
Yeah, so would you say that it lets the radio play over the top of it, or would you say that it interrupts the radio?
It interrupts the radio.
Right, okay.
But that's more interesting, in my opinion, because sometimes I get bored of listening to the radio for a continuous amount of time, unless I'm listening to like Elaine Page on a Sunday with all the musicals. I like listening to that. I could happily listen to that for a couple of hours and just sing along to all the musical numbers. But if I'm pretty much any other day, I kind of get bored after a while of constantly listening to the radio. So it's nice having this to interrupt it, because
No, that makes sense, yeah.
it's something new to focus on, especially when you're running. If you're on a long stretch of road, it gets boring after a while.
How long are you running for, time-wise, not distance?
I'm out for I don't know how long my run was today, because my Fitbit, I'm not gonna shouldn't name brands. My exercise watch is refusing to sync with the app for some reason.
You are allowed to name a brand. It's the BBC that aren't allowed to do it.
Right. Well, I was using my Fitbit, but the Fitbit's not syncing with my Fitbit app on my phone, and that's kind of annoying because that's normally how I find out how long I've been running for. I think it was about 36 minutes I was out for today,
Okay.
which is pretty good for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very good.
Because when I first went out, I was doing 41 minutes. So I've managed to cut off 5 minutes off my time, which is pretty good within 2 weeks.
No, that is really good. And you're going... So I take it you're going to try and cut the time down, and then you're going to start to build up the distance once you've got that down.
Yes. Well, I mean, I go out and it's over like 2.5 miles,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also like slopes. So it's
Mm-hmm.
it's not a flat surface.
Well, no, it is a flat surface. It's an inclined surface.
Well, yeah.
Flat as in it's not bumpy and you're not going to, like, do an ankle.
No, but I run on the road or on the pavement if there's one.
Yeah, just to try and get the cars to speed you up a wee bit.
But
I've
yeah,
been playing...
sorry.
No, you're still talking. Sorry, on you go.
Yeah, but it's interesting because the story's getting a bit more interesting now, and like I say, with integrating with the radio, it's a lot better.
Tell us a bit about this story. What's happening?
So I'm trying to remember now how it started, because you're on a mission to drop off supplies to a town, and I can't remember what it's called because they don't talk about it that much.
Town 1.
No, hold on, let me open up the app.
We don't need to know the town's name. Tell us what you're doing.
So you are delivering some supplies, you're in a helicopter, and all of a sudden somebody shoots a helicopter down with a rocket launcher.
Okay.
And then you pick up a radio signal from this town. It's like township. It's something township. And they tell you need to run to them in order, because there's like zombies around you. And no, I'm getting confused. Sorry, I'm getting confused. Right, you're dropping off supplies to Able Township. I think that's what it's called. You're dropping off supplies to this place. I think it's called Able Township. you don't have as many of the supplies you said you had, and you're not the only one in this rocket, in this helicopter or whatever it is. It gets shot down with a rocket launcher, and then you land within a lot of zombies and you have to run towards this place. And so you do this while your radio picks up signal from the town, and it's basically that's pretty much the game at the beginning, and then you become what's known as runner 5. So far I think there's 8 runners, and you're the new runner number 5. You become that person because you're good at running. And the idea is that the runners kind of like distract zombies, or they have to go collect supplies and things like that. That's their job. That's their sole job.
Right, okay. Yeah, and it fits into the whole idea. The mechanic, as it were, of you actually just physically running.
Yeah.
Right, okay. That makes sense.
And like I said, sometimes you hear zombies in your ears.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the best place for them to go, really.
It's a lot of fun.
Okay, that sounds cool.
I recommend
We're
it.
going to move on now. Zombies
Okay.
Run.
Yes.
So I've been playing a few different things. Split Second, it's an old racing game from 2010. It's actually surprisingly hard. It's really, really difficult. It's really challenging. Yeah, it's like Mario Kart but with real cars, because you get or well, not real cars but real-ish cars. They're still fake cars. But what you get is it's just the tracks that you drive around on. But what they do is by drifting and by slipstreaming other cars and by having close shaves with accidents and stuff like that, it gives you this like power up bar at the bottom with 3 sections, and all 3 sections is classed as level 2, and each of the individual sections is a level 1, what they call action play.
Yeah.
And those can be like level 1 action plays can be things exploding or things throwing themselves across the track to try and take out your competitors, similar to like Mario Kart when it comes to firing a shell or something like that. But instead of picking up a power up, these things you have to time it as you go past it so that you activate it so that it hits people. Now, the reason it's very much like Mario Kart is because you can't activate it based on the actual action play. You have to activate it based on the opposition. So if you're in first place, there's not really much you can actually do to protect yourself. You have to be behind somebody to activate one of these action plays. But it also has bigger action plays, the level 2 ones, which can be used to, like, a helicopter will appear and start just strafing the track, or they'll drop some huge big thing on it to hit several of the cars at once. Or the best ones, I think, are you can use an action play to reroute the track. So there's one where you drive underneath a ship that's in dock being built, and if you activate the action play at the corner before going under the ship will drop, and then you go into the ship and you'll drive a slightly different track. And then in the next lap, if you've got a full bar again, you can actually activate the ship so that it slips into the water, and then you drive into it when it's on the water and jump off it at the other side. But when it initially drops, it can land on the cars underneath.
All right.
So that I've taken out like 5 people or 4 people with that, dropping it straight on them. Yeah, it's really, really hard because of the fact that there's obviously rubber banding, and then there's the fact that they've got these power plays. But yeah, I am enjoying it. Unfortunately, getting the better cars doesn't work for all the different race types. There are several different types of race. It doesn't really work for all of them because it alters the difficulty of the AI to suit the car you selected, because the AI can't really drive the car as well as you. All they did was basically give them a handicap bonus, and that handicap bonus is greater the better the car you have. So it's actually a better game if you pick a lesser car.
Yeah.
For the straight up races, but you can use the better cars for the other game types. Like there's an elimination game type where you have to be ahead of everybody. So if you're in last place, when the timer ticks down, you get knocked out. There's a time trial. You just got to get around a lap as fast as you can. There's a helicopter attack thing where you have to dodge a helicopter and it gives you points. Or you can charge up your power bar, a different helicopter attack game, and you can charge up your power bar to attack the helicopter. And there's I can't remember now.
Sorry, I'll come back to you.
Yeah, there's races, elimination, the time trial, the 2 power bars. Sorry, 2 helicopter attack ones. Oh well, I can't remember. But there's a few different types of races in the game, and I've just been thoroughly enjoying having a wee go at tanning this car around the track, whatever car it is I've got. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Well,
I've enjoyed doing it.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's like realistic style cars in an arcade setting, not realistic sim like driving, but with this sort of Mario Kart-esque addition that makes it quite fun. And at points, really, really cool.
Awesome.
What else have I been playing? So that was called Split Second. Played a bit of Gears 5 with somebody We're just working our way through it. It's a lot of fun. And Portal Bridge Constructor, which is just like any bridge constructor game, but with a Portal skin over the top. I think you played Portal, didn't you?
I played Portal Still Alive.
That was it. Yeah.
So is it the same thing?
Yes, I believe Portal Still Alive is the upgraded version of Portal.
Right, okay. Because that was what are you thinking of that? Like the structure of how to play it.
Of what?
Portal.
Portal. Oh, I like it. Why?
Because I'm just remembering when I played it, I struggled a lot at the beginning, so I wasn't entirely sure how to go about it.
Yeah. Well, that'll happen. But I knew what it was going in because I'd played it before.
Oh, okay. I thought this was the first time you playing it.
No, I played it when I was a
You
teenager.
lie. You lie to me. You lie.
No, I didn't lie. I hadn't played Portal Still Alive, but I'd played Portal. Came out as part of the Orange Box along with Half-Life
Cool.
and Team Fortress. Where was that?
Sorry,
Yeah, so
Portal.
it's Portal Bridge Constructor is just a portal. It's just a bridge constructor game, like with your typical bridge constructor mechanics of cables and the metal. Oh, what was it I'm saying? The metal the struts, reinforcing struts, and then you just try and build bridges, and it adds in some of the portal mechanics of having
The
boost
portals.
pads and the portals and the energy balls that would fly around that you have to get. You have to use the portals to get the energy balls into the receptacle to activate the door.
Yeah.
It does that, but you have to use the walls, as in like the reinforced struts. You can turn those into like a surface, a solid surface,
That they
like
can
by
bounce
putting
off
like
of.
so you can put a road on those reinforced struts for your vehicle, which in this case is a JCB,
Love a
so they can
JCB.
drive. Yeah, so that they can drive on it, but in this instance, you can use it as well as a wall, so it bounces off of it and then heads towards the place. But instead of having it's to the place where the receptor is, but instead of having it's quite a good wee mechanic I like, is that when those things appear, you can press Y as opposed to, so it's left on the D-pad to try with one car, and then when you've done that, you do it right on the D-pad to try with a convoy of them to see if your bridge can take more than one at once. And it also has Y, which is to test it. So if you have anything in there, like if you have one of those balls, it'll activate the ball, and then you can just focus on getting the ball into adapting what you've built to get the ball into the receptor using Y. You don't have to worry about this car driving around, and then you can try it with the car. So
Okay.
it lets you do that. I thought that was quite a nice wee addition, so you can see what's happening before you send someone to their doom. It
Just
also has the turrets from the game, and you can't drive straight at the turrets because they'll blow up the car.
just to
So
say
you need
sorry.
to.
Sorry, I think something might be there's some birds I think on my window, so if you hear like clacking or something like that, that's probably them. I can't do anything about the birds. Sorry about that.
Or you can just sing at them till they explode. It's called Shrek.
I know, I watched it.
Get some culture, women.
I dressed up as Princess Fiona for the gala day, the year that came out, but I dressed up as the ogre version. Many people laughed at me.
You dressed up as the ogre version.
Yeah, because
What were they supposed
they had the ogre version, and then they had the pretty princess version.
But what? Sorry, what? Somebody else went as the normal one.
Yeah,
Did you know that was happening? Was that part of
yeah,
the plan?
yeah.
Right. So what exactly were they supposed to do?
What do you mean?
Well, of course, if you go as the ogre version and the normal version's there, and was it tandem? Did you do it deliberately as like a team up thing?
No, well, no, I was on the float.
Right. So what? Of course they're gonna laugh at you. That's part of it. I'm sure they weren't being mean. They were
No,
just
they
finding
were.
it funny.
No, it was another school. They were being mean,
Oh, it's another school. What did you expect?
not to be made fun of.
Exactly. Other schools must die in the glorious wars of schools in righteous fire and flame. All
Thanks for
schools hate
that.
other schools, and nobody understands why. It's just what happens. Although I don't think it happens as much now as it did back when we were at school.
Oh, believe me, it'll still be going on. People
No,
don't
I
care.
don't.
People don't care. People get bullied.
That's not. No, that's not bullying.
That is bullying. That's the
How is
definition of
that
bullying.
bullying?
Making fun of somebody for something they can't control, or
No, you dressed up as a character and they made fun of you for it. You can control that.
no, they made fun of me because not just because I was dressed up as that, but also because I was fat.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense. No, that's fair enough. That makes sense. I know that you're classing that as bullying, not that they did it.
I'm classing it as it being bullying.
Pardon?
I'm classing it as it being bullying
Yes, I know.
behavior.
I'm saying that that's a fine classification. If they were just making fun of you for dressing up as a character like that, then that's kind of part of it. The schools compete with each other for their floats. That's kind of part of it. It's like at the end of a rugby game, everybody makes fun of each other. But
We also had a giant dragon head on top of the tractor that was pulling the float. It was very good. We didn't win, which was
who won?
very... I can't remember.
Well, yeah, okay. I'll go with your classification that's bullying because they were making fun of what you were of your weight. But if they were just sort of picking a wee bit at your
No, it was...
float, that's kind of part of it. But yeah, you're
No,
right. Okay.
no, it was just me.
Right, okay, that's fair enough then. Yeah, not that they did that, like I said, but just that's your classification of it. That I agree with that.
We've gone down a weird road. I've taken us down a
Yeah,
weird road. Sorry
yeah,
about
you
that.
have. Let me pull this back out. Right, okay, I also bought myself a new controller because
Yes.
I'm enjoying. Sorry, I'm enjoying Portal Bridge Constructor. It might be a skin on it, but it does actually change some of it, and it is quite fun. And I haven't played the other Bridge Constructors. What else was I saying?
Your new controller
Yeah, I bought myself a new controller just because the other one was
was
suffering
messed
from
up.
it was suffering from auto walk in the left stick. It was just always detecting something. And apparently there's a way you can fix that. I tried all the non-invasive routes where this controller didn't require surgery, and unfortunately none of those were successful. So I have purchased a new controller because the major surgery involved is like I need a soldering iron and new sensor components, which I'm
Yeah.
happy to do one day. But I need to own a solder, sorry, and a soldering iron, which I don't have. So I can't do that just now. I'll fix it in a year or 12, but I can't do it just now.
Be out of date in a year or 12. Obsolete,
No,
sorry.
well, no, I still have a 360 controller here that works on a 360. PlayStation 3 controller works on a PlayStation 3. Depends what you're playing as to whether or not it's properly obsolete.
I know, I know, I know, I know, I know.
Right. Anyway, that's what I've been doing. That's what you've been doing. Let's move to the stories.
Yes. So Tommy wishes for me to speak the stories.
You may speak them into truth, and I will listen.
So a lot has happened this year, and let's face it, most of it terrible. In this climate, we hold on to the good with both hands, no matter how frivolous or silly. I've got no idea if I spelled frivolous right or wrong. So a small bit of good news and a distraction. This year marks the 35th anniversary for the Super Mario Brothers. Now, Nintendo have been busy bees and have come up with some great products and fun ideas for Mario and Luigi, and of course, its players. For the players, it's players. The players. Nintendo have released a trailer with everything they have planned for the anniversary, which I will leave a link to in the description box below, and hopefully I remember this time to upload it with the link, because 3 times in a row, or twice in a row so far. The first one, I forgot to put in a link at all, and it took me over a week to remember to do that. The second time, I uploaded it and then remembered within an hour to put the link in, so I had to go in and edit it. So I can only apologize for that. So hopefully this time I will actually remember. So a new Game & Watch is going to be released with classic games. Now, if you don't know what a Game & Watch is, then you are not alone, for I had...
One second, sorry to just interrupt. That sounds a lot like you're saying gaming watch.
Game & Watch.
Right, game and watch. Okay, so
Yes.
it's not a gaming watch. Right, okay, got you.
Game & Watch. Game
sorry,
and
continue.
Watch. Game and Watch. Where was I? Okay. If you don't know what a Game and Watch is, then you are not alone, for I had no clue what it was. Then when I saw it, it jogged some far forgotten part of my memory. The original run of the Game and Watches were released between 1980 and 1991 and were a series of handheld consoles. I believe each console could only play 2 games, because when I looked it up, they kept calling about Game A, Game B, which you could swap between. And it also happened to have an inbuilt clock with an alarm, hence the name Game and Watch. Now, they also, and I've not actually included this in the story, but I do remember seeing it, that between 95 and 2002, they did re-release a lot of the Game and Watch games, but not on a Game and Watch console. It was it was for the Game Boy series. So like Game Boy Color, it was Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance, I believe. So that kind of why it kind of jogged my memory, because I kind of remember those. Along with this, there are games being re-released in bundles. There is a special edition to Super Mario Brothers where you can battle 35 other online players, where you are able to send enemies to defeat them and vice versa. I have written 25 in the story. It is 35 because it's for the 35th anniversary. So the idea is you can play one of the original Super Mario Brothers games online and compete with other people. And then if you defeat enemies in your game, it sends them off to somebody else, but it also does it vice versa. So one of the, you can affect, from what I saw, you see your screen and then you see like 35 other screens around it if you're playing it on Nintendo Switch or something like this. And if they defeat enemies, it gets flung to you, and then if you defeat enemies, it gets flung to them, and you're competing against each other in like a battle royale type of situation. Something I found to be really interesting is a live Mario Kart, which will be released for the 35th anniversary as well. What better way could you spend self-isolation than turning your bedroom, kitchen, lounge, or any other vacant room in your house into a real Mario Kart track? With the aid of a camera placed into a remote control cart, you can spend hours whizzing around your home. They also have the checkpoints as well that you can set up. Cardboard checkpoints. From what I saw, I don't actually know if those affect how the course is run. I think it is, but I couldn't really get a clear picture from the trailer, and every time I tried to look it up, I couldn't really find anything on that. Now, this is only a taster of what Nintendo are going to be doing during the 7-month-long event, which will be starting the 18th of September and running into March. Thoughts?
No.
You don't have any thoughts?
Do you expect more of me?
Yes, because you always have thoughts.
Yeah, it makes sense for Nintendo to celebrate the Super Mario Brothers release because it was huge and it has been so influential. And the fact that like Mario is still running is I mean, like Odyssey was the last one I think, and it's still huge. They've had that Rabbids game. They've had, you know, Super Mario Maker. You know, they've had some really massive releases even in the past 5 or 10 years. Well, 5 years, sorry, that people love.
What do you think of the live Mario Kart? Because did you watch it? I sent you a link to the trailer. Did you watch it?
No, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet. Is this what you've just sent me?
Yes.
Oh, it's an actual physical car.
Yes.
So it's a small plastic car.
Yes, like I said, it's an actual remote control car that you can go whizzing around your home, and the webcam in it creates the track, and you can put it onto your television or you can put it on your Switch console.
It's controlled by the Switch.
Yeah.
And you set up these little plastic checkpoints you have to go through.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. So you can create your own track in your room.
Now, so far, all I have seen is Mario and Luigi. I don't know if they have any other characters that you can play as. But I think physically, I don't think you can have more. Unless you live in a giant house, you cannot have, or you move all the furniture away, you cannot have more than really 2 carts around a room at once.
Yeah, it's an annoying advert for that because they've got 4 people in it. They've got 2 cars, so it makes it look like you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
2 limit. It looks like it's Mario and Luigi, and that's it.
Yeah.
Mario Kart Live Home Circuit.
Yeah.
It looks interesting. I don't think it will be as big as something like Odyssey or anything like that, but that looks like there's definitely going to be a group of people who like that.
Yeah. But like I said, there's loads of things. I didn't want to go through all of it because the video for the trailer is about 17 minutes long.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so
yeah, that looks interesting. It looks like they've got quite a lot of different things planned for this event.
Yeah.
And
loads of releases of games.
Yeah, it looks like they've tried to be. Nintendo like to do that. They like to think outside the box. Like they had the Nintendo Labo, which was where your controller was made out of cardboard.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So they like to think outside the box and push the technology to see what they can really do.
There's a documentary on Netflix at the moment about gaming. I can't remember what it's called. But they have interviews with the creator of Pac-Man and Space Invaders and things like that. I've only watched a bit of it. But if you're interested, you can go watch it. I will look up what it's called and put it up on the screen for you.
Yeah, we'll put the trailer that you just sent me up on the description as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that looks interesting. It does make sense that they would, because it's such a huge thing for them. 35th anniversary is quite big. The fact that Mario's still so huge when he's technically about, what, 65?
Yeah.
60, 70. So, yeah, I think that's, as a character, he's, it's only 35 years old, but he's, you know what I mean? Or like 40 or 45.
It's interesting. Original? It's interesting because, I mean, you can name quite a lot of characters that appeared in games from that time period. I mean, pretty much anybody can name like Sonic or Pac-Man or anything like that from that time period. But none really, I don't think, have had as much of a culture than Mario and Luigi and Princess Peach and Toad, Yoshi, and things like that.
There's few that have had as big an effect. There are
Yeah.
some, but
From,
there are
not,
few.
I mean, they've lasted that long. Because even like we've been talking about like the Lara Croft games, those Lara Croft games, what happened in the 90s. That's not 35 years.
What happened in the 90s?
Tomb Raider.
No, that happened in the 90s, not what happened in the 90s.
Consoles. I don't know. No, I'm talking about what happened in the 90s then.
No,
I was born.
I'm pulling you up on the fact that you said those games, what happened in the 90s. It's that happened in the 90s, not what happened in the 90s.
I didn't even notice I said that.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah, so Mario himself is actually from 1981, but...
Well, I said the 80s. That's what I mean. Like, the stuff that happened in the 90s, yes, it's still, like, people can know about it, but Mario's been around for longer than that. That's what I meant.
Yeah. No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying stuff.
Do you think Mario Kart has kind of surpassed all the as the favorite as all the others?
But definitely not with me. I think there's a stretch of people that love Mario Kart, but I don't think I've ever owned a Mario Kart, so no. For me, it's the 3D platforming games.
I've played Mario Kart. I like it, but it gets annoying because if I would play it with online players, I'd always end up in last place, and it used to drive me absolutely crazy. If I played with normal characters, I would win.
So that's AI compared to people.
Yeah. So,
1985.
Jeff,
so he's 4 years older than that. Mario as a character is 39 years. Yeah. But it wasn't in his own game. It was different. So, yeah. The longevity is something to be marveled at. And Mario. That's why they're celebrating it like this.
Luigi. Toad!
What?
Toad! Does he not scream like Toad?
Who screams Toad?
I thought Toad did. Does Toad not say Toad?
Yeah, but I don't think he does it like that.
Toad!
Yeah, he does make a sound like that, I think, especially in Mario Kart, I think. But no, I don't think if he's saying Toad, I never put that together.
Yoshi.
So I'm not sure if he is. Anyway, what's the next story?
The next story. Another anniversary happened earlier this year, and that was for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. The 18th of...
What did you just say?
Wild Hunt.
What was that, sorry?
The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Okay. Are you sure you said Wild Hunt? I
said Wild Hunt.
Okay, continue.
The 18th of May 2020 marked the 5th anniversary. Now, as we all know, like I was saying earlier, a lot has happened this year, so we don't know for certain if there had been anything that had been planned for that date. Tommy, do you know anything that had been planned for that date?
No.
Very well. CD Projekt Red have announced that at some point next year we will be getting an updated version of the game, which will be compatible with the next gen of consoles and also for PC. Now let's hear all the groans and cries of the gamers out there that already have that game and will now have to buy a new one. But hold on, I cry, for this is not so. CD Projekt Red have said that anybody who owns the game will be getting an upgrade for the humble price of £0 and 0 pence and 0 whatevers of any other currencies out there. Yes, it shall be free. However, for one to appreciate all the shiny new bits of the game, they shall have to buy ye new games consoles. And that is the story.
I think most people would already have those.
Yeah, but I'm saying some people won't be able to get the new gen consoles because they won't be able to afford it.
Yeah, I understand that people won't all have the consoles, obviously, but I think the point is that it's for people with the new consoles.
No, but the people with the people with the older consoles can still get the update, but they just won't be able to see the benefits of it.
Well, they're probably not actually getting the update, or there might be a slightly different update for them.
No, it's the same update.
Right, so in that case, they're not getting the update because it'll only run on the more advanced console. I think it would probably make the game incompatible if they tried to update it like that.
No, literally, I was reading it and they said, yes, you can get it, but you just won't be able to appreciate all the new aspects of the game if you have an older generation of consoles. But
right, so it's a general update that pushes the performance.
No, it's a new game. From what I read is that there is a new game coming out, but if you already own the game, you can get an upgrade for it.
Right. Okay. So, what they've said about CG product about Cyberpunk 2077, sorry, was that if you buy it for the current gen of consoles, when they re-release it for the next generation, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, you will get that for free. And that might be what's happening here.
Yeah, that is what's happening here.
They're re-releasing The Witcher 3 for the next generation of console next year, but you can get an update patch for this generation for some of the upgrade.
Yes.
Right. So it's a next gen upgrade. I
Yes.
don't think it's not a re-release. They're just going to release the game on the next generation of console after they've updated it. And then the update will be partially backwards compatible. I think that's what they're talking about. I don't think it's a full re-release.
Well, that's what it sounded like to me when I was reading it.
Is it possible they've spoken about Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3 in the same story?
No, they have not talked about Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3 in the same story. They only talked about The Witcher 3.
Okay. So in that case, it's just a free next gen upgrade.
Yes.
So
As
it
long as you
depends how
have, as long as you already have the game, you get it for free. If you don't have the game, you have to buy it.
Right, so you
Obviously.
could consider that to be a re-release. You could consider that to be a re-release, because they will charge you if you buy it on the next generation console and you don't already own it. You will be charged for it. But if you do already own it, you're fine.
Yes.
So yeah, you could call that a re-release. Yeah,
Are you
I
happy?
have it. Yeah, I have it for the PC, so I'll get that upgrade either way.
Yeah. There
So
was
I'm quite happy.
there was some speculations of you need to have quite a powerful PC to be able to play it.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
No, I'm letting everybody else know.
Oh right, okay. On you go.
So infuriating.
Yeah, I
So
know, but
infuriating.
it's one of my 5 key skills.
It's not a skill, it's a hindrance.
Yeah.
Anywho, that is all the stories I have for you today. Thomas, do you have any other stories you would like to speak about?
No. And you know that because I'd have written them in the agenda if I did.
Well, sometimes you have a surprise story for me and it's not in the agenda.
No, I stopped doing that.
Good. Finally.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think there's a little something missing because I'm not doing that anymore. But you know,
What do you mean, my infuriation of not being able to follow along with a story, me zoning out and looking at other things in my bedroom while you talk, and then having to pretend like I've been listening the entire time?
no, you do that even if I've written it down.
Not all the time, just once in a while.
Once in quite a very rapid while. Yeah, it's once in quite.
This is when I'm gonna find out I've got like ADHD or something like that, or ADD.
Or you're just very rude.
No, I'm not rude. I'm not a rude person.
No, you're not.
So, with that being the last story,
I'm quite rude.
oh god, yeah, you are.
I'm quite rude. Did you know that I'm quite rude actually?
Yes, I did.
Abigail. Abigail.
So, with
I'm
that
quite
being
rude.
the last story and Tommy now
I'm
having
quite
a
rude, by the
slow
way.
mental breakdown, I
I'm
will
quite rude, by
say
the way.
that you can leave a comment down below. That'd be
Put
great.
that panda
You can
down.
like the video, you subscribe to the channel, you can share the video with anybody, you can hit the notification bell for when we upload, you can find us on Facebook at overshadow.shadowcast, and you can email us at overshadow.shadowcast@gmail.com. All that information will be left down below in the description box. And that's all for me to say is goodbye and thank you for listening, and I hope you come back next week.
I agree. We'll leave lots of descriptions, hopefully, in the description box. And we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.